Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident, and that her partner, Dodi Fayed, has also been killed. They were apparently being pursued by paparazzi on 2 motorcycles.
Princess Diana, known as the People's Princess, left an indelible mark on the world during her life with her grace, kindness, and humanitarian work. From her early years to her tragic death, Diana's life was both a royal fairy tale and a deeply personal journey filled with trials and triumphs. This is an exploration of her extraordinary story. Born on July 1, 1961, Diana Frances Spencer was from the aristocratic Spencer family, who had centuries-old connections to the British royal family. Her upbringing was both affluent and turbulent, since she was raised on the Sandringham estate. When Diana was just 7 years old, her mother, Frances Roch, and father, John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, divorced due to their tense marriage. Diana was profoundly impacted by the separation, which helped shape the empathy and sensitivity that would eventually characterize her public demeanor. Diana's shyness and reserve as a youngster concealed a great reservoir of compassion. After attending preparatory schools in Norfolk, she went on to West Heath Girls' School, where she did well in athletics and music but suffered academically. During these early years, Diana cultivated a strong sense of obligation, accountability, and concern for others that would serve her well throughout her life. Despite going through a difficult childhood, Diana stayed close to her siblings and took comfort in her family's rural house in Althorp. Her approach to her own family life as a mother would be greatly influenced by this feeling of connection and belonging. The public viewed Diana's union with Prince Charles as the pinnacle of royal romance. From her existence behind the castle gates was anything from blissful. At the age of 16, she met Prince Charles, and after a brief flirtation, they announced their engagement in February 1981. In front of millions of people worldwide, Diana married Prince Charles on July 29, 1981, when she was just 20 years old. Diana had been under tremendous strain from the beginning. Every move she made was examined, and the media closely examined every facet of her existence. Diana, however, battled loneliness and solitude behind the camera. From the start, her marriage to Charles, who was 12 years her senior, was tense. There was a noticeable emotional gap between the two, and it was revealed that Charles had never really broken off contact with Camilla Parker Bowles, his ex-girlfriend. Diana had severe emotional difficulties at this period. While putting on a show of elegance and grace in public, she struggled with depression, bulimia, and feelings of inadequacy. She experienced several public breakdowns and private moments of sorrow as a result of the strain of her royal responsibilities and the lack of emotional support in her marriage. Diana was committed to her royal duty in spite of the difficulties, utilizing her position to raise awareness of issues that were important to her. Despite the difficulties in her marriage, she was still able to connect with the audience. On July 29, 1981, Lady Diana Spencer married Prince Charles, one of the most watched weddings in history. Millions of people were moved when the young Diana came down the aisle of St. Paul's Cathedral wearing a gorgeous gown with a 25-feet train. Her composure, attractiveness, and the event's seeming perfection captivated the globe. Known as the wedding of the century, it represented the merger of the British royal family with the aristocratic Spencer family, and was a unique sight. Diana was viewed by the world as the ideal princess, assuming her new position with poise and charisma. The terrible strain Diana experienced as she stepped into a life of royal duties and expectations, however, remained hidden from the outside world. Behind the scenes, the marriage flaws were already starting to appear, despite the wedding being a public success. Diana gave birth to Prince William barely 11 months after the wedding, and Prince Harry 2 years later, indicating the immediate pressure to have an heir. Her marriage was becoming more and more strained, even though she was devoted to her roles as a wife and mother, and with common people, in contrast to other royal family members who were sometimes perceived as aloof and quiet. Her encounters with the public, especially those who were suffering or oppressed, demonstrated her understanding and compassion. By embracing youngsters, sitting on hospital beds with sick, and interacting directly with those in need, she was not afraid to defy royal convention. Because of her compassion, she was dubbed the People's Princess. Diana's trips to hospices, hospitals, and charitable organizations were more than just picture ops. They were sincere demonstrations of her concern for other people. She frequently brought her sons along on these outings, teaching them to share her empathy and feeling of duty. Diana became adored all around the world because of her ability to relate to people from all walks of life. Diana's deeds were more powerful than words, whether she was navigating a minefield, visiting a homeless shelter, or consoling an AIDS sufferer. She became a symbol of empathy and compassion by using her position to speak up for people without a voice. Princess Diana's contributions to humanitarian concerns and charity are perhaps among her most enduring legacies. Diana was an ardent supporter of many humanitarian causes, utilizing her notoriety to provide knowledge and encouragement for people in need. Her work with AIDS and HIV sufferers was one of her most well-known causes. Diana made news in 1987 when she shook hands with an AIDS sufferer, dispelling myths and anxieties about the illness at a time when it was widely stigmatized. Her readiness to interact with AIDS patients contributed to a decrease in stigma and a shift in how the disease was seen by the general population. Diana was a strong champion for landmine victims in addition to her work with AIDS patients. To raise awareness of the risks presented by landmines, she walked across an active minefield during a 1997 trip to Angola with the International Red Cross. Her actions contributed to the ratification of the Ottawa Treaty, which outlawed the use of landmines, and helped raise awareness of the problem on a global scale. Diana's philanthropic endeavors encompassed a wide range of topics, such as mental health, children's welfare, and homelessness. Her commitment to assisting people in need was a major aspect of her life, and she supported more than 100 charities. Diana kept on her philanthropic activities after she and Prince Charles were divorced, giving her time and effort to causes that were important to her. Diana was a worldwide fashion icon in addition to being a philanthropist. The media kept a careful eye on her outfit choices, and women all over the world adored and imitated her style. Diana's sense of style changed over the years, showing her independence and personal development, from her well-known revenge dress to her exquisite evening outfits. However, Diana's impact extended beyond the realm of fashion. The media chronicled her every action, making her a cultural figure. Although she recognized the media's ability to spread awareness of her concerns, she also found it difficult to deal with their constant intrusion into her private life. Diana stood out in the contemporary world because she was able to preserve her uniqueness while using her public persona for good. She wasn't satisfied with being a passive royal figurehead. Rather, she challenged conventions, inspired others, and pushed for change. In many respects, Princess Diana was a trailblazer, but she was most notable for redefining what it meant to be a royal. In contrast to the royal family's customary, formal demeanor, Diana was personable, sympathetic, and not hesitant to display weakness. She frequently visited hospitals and homeless shelters without the customary fanfare, and glitz, hugged kids, and knelt to address people at eye level. Diana distinguished herself from the other members of the royal family with her contemporary attitude on her job as a princess. Despite her repeated violations of etiquette, she received appreciation for her humanity rather than criticism. Her capacity to emotionally connect with people and her desire to interact with them personally contributed to redefining the British monarchy's place in the contemporary world. Her behavior affected the royal family for a long time as well. There was a discernible change in the royal family's interactions with the people following her passing. A monarchy is still impacted by Diana's legacy of kindness and approachability. What do you think about these moments? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. See you in the next one.